The Holocaust Industry. Reflections on the exploitation of Jewish suffering 2000. Finkelstein critically examines the way the Holocaust has been utilized for political and financial gain. He argues against what he perceives as the exploitation of Jewish suffering, image and reality of the Israel-Palestine conflict 1995. Revised edition 2003. In this book, Finkelstein scrutinizes the historical narratives surrounding the Israel-Palestine conflict and challenges common perceptions, beyond chutzpah, on the misuse of anti-Semitism and the abuse of history. 2005 Finkelstein critiques the way accusations of anti-Semitism are used to stifle criticism of Israeli policies. He also explores the misuse of historical events in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This time we went too far, truth and consequences of the Gaza invasion. 2010 Finkelstein analyzes the 2008-2009 Gaza war and its consequences, focusing on the impact on the civilian population in Gaza. Knowing too much, why the American Jewish romance with Israel is coming to an end. 2012 Finkelstein discusses shifts in American Jewish attitudes toward Israel and examines the reasons behind changing perspectives. The Holocaust Industry. Reflections on the exploitation of Jewish suffering. Critique of Holocaust exploitation. Finkelstein argues that the memory of the Holocaust has been exploited for various purposes, including financial compensation, political leverage, and as a shield against criticism of Israeli policies. Financial reparations. One of the central arguments in the book is Finkelstein's criticism of the way Holocaust survivors and their families have been compensated. He contends that some individuals and organizations have profited from the Holocaust memory industry. Manipulation of memory. Finkelstein discusses how the memory of the Holocaust has been manipulated to advance political agendas, particularly in the context of Israel and its policies in the Middle East. Impact on Jewish identity. The book explores how the emphasis on the Holocaust has influenced Jewish identity, suggesting that it has been used to foster a sense of victimhood and to discourage critical examination of Israeli policies. Controversial perspectives. Finkelstein's views in the Holocaust industry have been highly controversial, and the book has been criticized by some for its perceived harshness and for challenging widely accepted narratives surrounding the Holocaust. Academic and public response. The book sparked significant debate within academic and public circles, leading to discussions about the appropriate ways to remember and discuss the Holocaust and its implications. Image and reality of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Historical narratives. Finkelstein scrutinizes the narratives presented by both Israeli and Palestinian sources, as well as by international actors. He aims to uncover discrepancies between the image projected and the historical reality, questioning accepted histories. The book questions widely accepted historical accounts and challenges the way historical events have been interpreted and presented by different parties to the conflict. Impact on public perception. Finkelstein explores how the shaping of historical narratives influences public perception, both within the region and internationally. He contends that the narratives have been strategically constructed to serve political purposes. Use of documentation. Finkelstein relies on a detailed analysis of historical documents, statements, and international agreements to support his arguments. He encourages readers to critically assess the authenticity and context of historical records. Role of international players. The book delves into the role of international actors, including major powers and organizations, in shaping the narrative of the Israel-Palestine conflict and influencing the course of events. Political implications. Finkelstein discusses the political implications of the constructed narratives, suggesting that the framing of historical events has had a significant impact on diplomatic efforts, peace negotiations, and the overall trajectory of the conflict. Controversial reception. Like much of Finkelstein's work, image and reality of the Israel-Palestine conflict has been met with both acclaim and criticism. Some praise his meticulous research and critical analysis, while others accuse him of bias or challenge his interpretations. Beyond chutzpah, on the misuse of anti-Semitism and the abuse of history. Misuse of anti-Semitism. Finkelstein argues that accusations of anti-Semitism are sometimes misused to stifle criticism of Israeli policies. He examines instances where legitimate criticism of Israel is conflated with anti-Semitism for political purposes. Abuse of history. The book explores how historical narratives, particularly those related to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, can be manipulated and abused to serve political agendas. Finkelstein scrutinizes the distortion of historical facts to advance specific narratives. Examination of Alan Dershowitz's The Case for Israel. Finkelstein critically examines Alan Dershowitz's book The Case for Israel, which presents a defense of Israel's actions. Finkelstein challenges Dershowitz's arguments and accuses him of distorting historical facts. Legal and ethical issues. Finkelstein addresses legal and ethical concerns related to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. He questions the legality of certain actions and policies, and explores the ethical implications of those actions. Impact on academic freedom. The book discusses issues related to academic freedom and free speech, particularly in the context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Finkelstein raises concerns about attempts to suppress certain perspectives within academic and public discourse. Response to criticism. Finkelstein responds to criticism and attacks on his own work, defending his research methodologies and conclusions. The book includes a detailed examination of the arguments and counter-arguments in the broader academic and political discourse. This time we went too far. Truth and consequences of the Gaza invasion. Gaza War. Finkelstein examines the context and events surrounding the Gaza War, a conflict between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip that took place from December 2008 to January 2009. Civilian casualties. A central theme of the book is the high number of civilian casualties during the Gaza War. Finkelstein discusses the impact on the civilian population and questions the proportionality of the Israeli military's response. International law. Finkelstein assesses the conflict in the context of international law, questioning the legality of certain military actions and strategies employed during the Gaza War. Abuse of history. The book explores how historical narratives, particularly those related to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, can be manipulated and abused to serve political agendas. Finkelstein scrutinizes the distortion of historical facts to advance specific narratives. Human rights. The book addresses issues related to human rights violations, focusing on the impact on Palestinian civilians and the consequences of the conflict on their lives.